Am I the asshole for making my pregnant sister-in-law cry when she kept asking why I changed my name? My brother, 30 male, is married to Haley, 29 female, and they're expecting a baby together. Last year I, 17 female, officially changed my first name from Evelyn to Indy, which was a nickname form of my original middle name. My parents gave in after realizing how serious I was about being Indy and how I was not warming up to her growing into Evelyn. My brother and Haley want an older, vintage name for their baby, and Haley asked me about 5 months ago why I disliked Evelyn enough to change the name. At the time she brought up how popular the name has become and how vintage is back. I told her I didn't like vintage names and to me it sounded really old-fashioned. I told her the popularity didn't influence my decision. She wanted to know my reason for disliking older names and why I liked something like Indy instead. I didn't mind her asking this first time. She brought it up again a week later and she asked the same question and pressed more for why. She asked a third and a fourth time. I gave her the same answer and asked her why she kept asking me. I told her my answer wasn't going to change. By the 7th time she asked, she admitted she was worried her baby would hate having an older name and wanted to figure out what she could do to prevent what happened with me happening to her. She also said she'd like me to rethink my name because she thought Evelyn was beautiful and she was sad I had chosen something like Indy over it. I asked her to stop so many times already, and I even asked my brother to stop her. He told me I needed to understand it was the hormones. I can easily say she has asked me this more than 25 times by now. I'm not exaggerating that number either. 2 weeks ago when she brought it up again, she felt like I had made a mistake changing my name and how 30-year-old me wouldn't be so against Evelyn. I told her 30-year-old me can deal with it if that happens. She told me I didn't really have a good reason to like the name and Indy seemed like the kind of name someone young likes but not someone older. Then yesterday happened and I kinda lost my temper. She started out asking the same stuff and the baby is almost ready to be born, so I know it's coming to an end, but she asked me to really think about why and help her because she couldn't figure out what she'd do differently than my parents did. Then she said they really shouldn't have let me change my name so young. I snapped and I told her to stop asking me the same question because my answer won't change and her comments are not changing my mind because I don't like old-fashioned names. I told her I think they're awful and I'm sick and tired of hearing about how much better they are and having her try to make me find a reason she finds acceptable. I told her just like she hates Indy, I hate Evelyn and she needs to let it fucking go already. She burst into tears and my brother got so mad at me. My parents were also like, why did I have to speak to her so harshly? Am I the asshole? I told her just like she hates Indy, I hate Evelyn and she needs to let it fucking go already. She burst into tears and my brother got so mad at me. My parents were also like, why did I have to speak to her so harshly? If you reacted like this the very first time she asked, then you'd be a bit of an asshole. But, after months of her asking you the same thing over and over and over, your reaction is justified. I hate the, you must understand it's the pregnancy hormones, spiel. Being pregnant doesn't give you a free pass to be an AH. Not the asshole. If someone continues to question your identity, and they don't accept you for who you are, and if they ignore your explanation and request to move on, they are bullies and discriminatory. So, no surprise she burst into tears and is playing the victim now because that's what entitled bullies do when they're challenged. Not the asshole Indy. Not the asshole. Her behavior is really weird. Why ask repeatedly? And what's it to her, whether you choose to use Evelyn or Indy? It has nothing to do with her or her baby. I don't understand why she's so obsessed with your name. Not the asshole this. She told me I didn't really have a good reason to like the name and Indy seemed like the kind of name someone young likes but not someone older. You don't need her good reason to change your name, just your good reason to change your name. After 25 times of the same bullying from her, I would have snapped at her as well. Because it is bullying she was doing, for what purpose, who knows? And it is not hormones, and as to why you needed to speak harshly to her, well, it was because she kept bullying you over you changing your name. Tell your parents and brothers was like when you were kids traveling with your parents and you kept asking, are we there yet? Over and over and over again, and how they finally snapped at you to shut up. Yeah, it was like that. Not the asshole pregnancy or not, she would be testing anyone's patience the way she was carrying on. Tell your parents exactly how many times you have had the same disrespectful conversation with her and ask them what they would have done. Also tell your brother that you had told him how irritating she was being and asked him to tell her to stop, which he didn't, therefore the situation is as much his fault as hers. OMG. It's not hormones. She is talking down to you and lecturing you because you're 17. She's saying you don't know what you want and shouldn't be allowed to choose anything for yourself. I'd be so mad. I'd have reamed her out just like you did. And she's only pregnant. I've been pregnant twice and it's not a terminal disease, or an excuse to treat others badly. Your brother and mother should both tell to stop already. Am I the asshole for accidentally ruining my friend's kid's safe food? So earlier today we were at a mutual friend's kid's birthday party with all our kids. Standard kid birthday party barbecue food, hot dogs and hamburgers. I was helping the hosts on the barbecue and slinging dogs and burgers to all the kids and adults. One of the kids at the party asked if we had any bologna, told him no bologna, only hot dogs and hamburgers, and jokingly said, "But hot dogs and bologna are basically the same meat, just in a different form." Kid didn't take either, grabbed some chips and went off and did their thing with the other kids. About 2 hours after the party I get a text from the kid's dad, which I found a bit odd. We went to school from kindergarten to graduating university, but not let's go do something this weekend kind of friends. In the text he is losing his mind that I ruined the one food they could rely on him eating, bologna, because I said it was the same meat as a hot dog, and explained that their son is a very picky eater. I genuinely feel bad because I know how hard it can be to feed a kid when they don't want anything you cook, but I had no idea how deep it ran with their son. The hosts, texting me asking if the other friend reached out and said that I did nothing wrong and that it was being blown way out of proportion, and if the kid had such a good aversion it should have been brought up beforehand by the parents, but I can't help feeling like a total jerk all afternoon. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Not your kid, not your responsibility. If the kid only eats bologna, which is a serious problem in itself, then the parents are responsible for providing bologna. Also, you just told the kid a fact. Anyone that gets upset over their child learning actual information, and blaming someone else instead of dealing with the fallout themselves, isn't parenting correctly. So why didn't the dad send bologna with him? The entitlement. My son as a toddler had many allergies and ate certain foods. I was around many Caribbean folks and they use a lot of coconut milk in their food. My son can't have that. Nor seafood or shellfish. No milk. Lactose milk only. And then he had eczema as well. So I always had a small cooler with fruits, crackers and sandwiches for him. Water and juice. Candy. His iPad and toys to keep busy. I would call the parents ahead of time and let them know my kid has some snacks that he can eat. Simple. Not the asshole. It was totally unintentional and not something you could have anticipated. Your old schoolmate is way out of line. Not the asshole. If you were not given any notice or had any other reason to suspect that a special food was needed, then you bear no responsibility whatsoever for your reaction. Moreover, the issue apparently was not about a food allergy or anything like that. I hope the parent was given incorrect information to justify the response, because, otherwise, it is absolutely ridiculous. Not the asshole, and you feel bad because you get it. Even more not the asshole. My kiddo has Crohn's. I bring his food, not make a big deal and move on. It sucks, and maybe this will be impetus for the kid to finally try something new. This has to be fake, right? Surely no parent would expect there to be bologna at a barbecue, right? Why wouldn't they bring it themselves if that's the only food their son would eat? Am I the asshole for refusing to pay for my sister's wedding dress after she made fun of my body? So, I, 21F, have always had a bit of a rocky relationship with my older sister, 26F. We're pretty different in a lot of ways. She's always been super into fashion and makeup, while I'm more laid back and focus on school and work. Despite our differences, I thought we were at least civil until recently. My sister is getting married next year, and she's been really excited about finding the perfect wedding dress. Since she's trying to save money for other wedding costs, she asked if I'd help pay for her dress as a sisterly gesture. I recently got a decent paying job and was willing to help her out, even though I thought it was a weird request. Fast forward to a few weeks ago. We were at a family gathering, and I was wearing this dress I felt good in, but I'm not a size 2. Out of nowhere, my sister made a snarky comment in front of everyone about how brave I was for wearing something so tight. I was embarrassed, but I didn't want to make a scene, so I let it slide. Later that night, she made another comment, this time in private, about how she'd never wear something like that unless she lost weight. I got upset and told her that what she said really hurt my feelings, but she brushed it off, saying she was just being honest. Now, I don't feel like helping her out with the wedding dress anymore. I told her this, and she flipped out, calling me selfish and petty. She says I'm ruining her big day over a joke and that it's not fair for me to back out when I already agreed to help. My parents are saying I should just let it go and help her since that's what sisters do, but I feel like she crossed a line. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Why is a 21-year-old paying for the wedding dress of a 26-year-old? She's had more time to get established and save up. Jokes at other people's expense aren't jokes. They're put-downs. If someone chooses to tear you down, you owe them nothing. The more she whines and gets family to gang up on you, the more you should hold your ground and get really stubborn about your boundaries. You buy or make her a lacy wedding gag to remind her that if she doesn't have anything nice to say to people who are doing her a favor, she should probably stuff her mouth with the gag so she doesn't burn bridges. ETA. Thanks for the awards. Not the asshole. You're just matching her energy. Why would you respond with kindness when she comes at you with judgmental, aggressive jokes? She is an adult, you are an adult, you don't owe her anything. You have let her know that you will not be funding her dress in good time, so she has plenty of time to recover and try to sucker someone else into helping her, or reducing her expectations. Jokes are meant to be funny. Not everything someone thinks is honest is actually true, and most of it does not need to be said. Loudspeaker, 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 just being honest. What a beautiful situation you are in, right now. She is just butt hurt. However, she crossed a big fucking line. She got personal. So, next she talks to you. You say, I actually took the exact amount for your dress and donated it to the Flat Earth organization. They can use it in better ways than you. Just being honest. Rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing. Feel free to insert some other org, especially if she really hates it, or them. She a fucking piece of work. Good luck, and I hope you have a blessed day. Not the asshole. Why on earth should you be paying for her dress in the first place? You're only 21. Having a good job means you finally have a good income to start setting yourself up to meet your needs. A 26-year older sister should be ashamed for needing her 21-year barely featuring employed sister to pay for anything for her. ETA. Especially something frivolous. Being into fashion is often expensive, and those expenses are fully hers to bear. And having managed to talk you into helping her out financially, the least she could do is leash her judgmental poison tongue. She's the one not being a good sister here. You're 21 and help pay for the wedding dress of your older sister? I would be ashamed if I was her, letting your little sister make such a big expense. She sounds horrible. You should have said no in the first place. No one is entitled to your time or your money. You sister lost the plot when she repeatedly insulted you. Sisters don't do what sister did. She needs to learn that actions have a price. In this case, her actions cost her my help with her dress. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my brother's fiancé wear my late mother's wedding dress? I, 32F, lost my mom 4 years ago. It was devastating, and I inherited a lot of her things, including her wedding dress. My mom and I were incredibly close, and she always talked about how much she wanted me to wear her dress when I got married. I'm not married yet, but I've been saving the dress for my special day. My brother, 29M, is getting married next year, and his fiancée, 28F, recently asked if she could wear my mom's wedding dress. She said it would mean a lot to her because she never got to meet my mom, and she wants to feel connected to her on the big day. I understand that it's a sweet gesture, but I don't feel comfortable with her wearing something that's so sentimental to me, especially since my mom always wanted me to wear it. When I told her I wasn't okay with it, she got upset and said I was being selfish. Now my brother is upset with me too, saying it's just a dress, and that I'm ruining their wedding over something that's not a big deal. I offered to help her find a similar dress or even incorporate a piece of my mom's dress into her own gown, but she refused. Our family is now divided, with some saying I'm in the right and others saying I should let it go for the sake of family harmony. Am I the asshole for refusing to let her wear the dress? Not the asshole. If it were just a dress like your brother says, your future sister-in-law wouldn't make such a big deal out of your refusal. This is your dress to wear someday or not, but it is your special connection, not hers. It's funny how, when someone doesn't get what they want, suddenly you're the one being selfish. Not the asshole. If it was just a dress, then it shouldn't have the power to ruin their wedding. To you, it isn't just a dress. If your future sister-in-law wants to feel close to the woman she never met on her wedding day, there are other options. Your brother could buy his fiancée a locket or charm bracelet which your mom's photo can be put in. If you know what flowers were in your mom's bridal bouquet, your brother and his bride could incorporate them into the bouquet and boutonnieres, or into the general decorations. If your mom had something special in blue, the bride could borrow it for something special. There are other options which don't require your late mother's wedding dress, which may well need to be adjusted if your future sister-in-law were to wear it. And not the asshole. As your brother said, it's just a dress. His fiancée can find another one. I would hide the dress at a trusted friend's house until after the wedding. The rest of the family can kick rocks. This isn't their dress, so they have no say on the matter. Not the asshole. No is a complete sentence. You don't have to explain yourself to no one except your brother. Tell him your reasons and how it's emotional for you because it was your mom's. Bro, this is my hill to die on. This was our mom's dress. It's now mine and I said no. End of discussion. Tell all of your relatives to back the F off.